Dr. Eve here. Hope all is well. Welcome to another Living Well is a Lifestyle vlog. Y'all, this camera is horrible and I need to clean it off. We are getting ready to go outside, but I want to talk to you all a little bit about my morning shenanigans because y'all have been with me for a minute. I want to tell you about some things that we're doing, some things that are new, some things that we want you to help us with. This is real time, folks. This is real time what we're doing here on this channel. And I want to talk to you all about that because this morning I shared some things over on my Facebook page, but I wanted to make sure that I go into a deeper depth over here on this channel, which is my national vlog channel, because we know that there's more than 5 billion users over here on YouTube. So we're going to talk about what we're doing this morning, some steps I took this morning that I just want to share, some things I'm doing on this journey. Yeah, y'all know we talk about all, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Eve. Here on my channel, we talk about all things living well for the kingdom from the soil up. And please don't say nothing about my squeaky door. I have to get my husband to put some DW4 on that door. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to my channel. And I am glad that you are here. One of the things that I went on my walk this morning, it was beautiful. I did, let's see, how much did I do? I don't know if I can check it on while you're here. I probably should not interrupt my live. But we did about 3 miles this morning. I am feeling good. I'm slimming down and I love it. I'm being real consistent about my health. Because we know that living well is truly a lifestyle. It's one that we have to cultivate for ourselves. So some of the things that I did this morning on this journey, and I want to talk to you about that before we go into the garden, is number one, I did my walk. So that's cool. But here's another thing that I'm doing that I want you all to start putting into practice for yourselves, so you have some knowledge base about what you're doing and how your goals and how you plan to get to your next level. So for me, growing food is a way to change the narrative, base the narrative to what we have been exposed to, in terms of food and it's the crisis all over the world. So one of the ways to combat that is to grow food. Now, you might say you are unable to grow food. You don't have a land. You don't need any. You don't have a home. You don't need a home. If you live in an apartment, you can do it on the patio. There's buckets. There's container. There's bags. There's all growing up a trellis, growing up a pole. There's so many ways just to get started, right? You can grow in a house hydroponically. There's so many ways that you can do that. So I want us to really work on eliminating the thought of, removing that barrier that says we can't, because even if we don't have a place to live and we want to be on the journey to healthy living, we can connect with our local extension office for their community gardens, because community gardens are a thing. I, in fact, rented a plot for my organization for women who were here in the community who wanted to grow, could come to the community garden and sow some seeds. So that is what organizational leaders can do, to help their constituents to grow food, just to get started, to learn the process. Because, baby, you will not know everything. You will have a lot of hiccups. Gardening has a lot of trial and error to it. And for y'all, as y'all know, for me, this year I put in fruit trees. I put in over 100 fruit bearing trees, shrubs, bushes, all the things, because I wanted to come back again. I don't want to keep planting and planting. I want my spring to come in and everything to spring forward. Like that's the way I want that to be, right? And you could do that for yourself as well. And it kept me. I'm not in the. I noticed that I'm not in the garden as much. That now I can also focus on my health. I can also focus on building. Around my business. Hello, good morning. Why do people want you to say their names? I'm not sure. Why do people want that? Um, yeah. So anyway, I'm just curious why people want you to shout out their names like that. So anyway, I thank you for being here, Hamad. I appreciate you for showing up here in the space live with me. So you can combat the issue of I don't have or I can't, because there's always a way. Help with your local farmer. They may give you a small space where you can grow something as well. There's always these possibilities. But the more importantly, now I'm able to focus on my health, how I use the foods. As for if you're new here, then you know that I'm 60. Not it, if you're not new here, then you already know. If you're new here, I am a 63-year-old grandmother, mother of four, grandmother of seven, and I've had a life of just removing barriers in the field of human services. I have spent 30 years on the ground building and designing programs and redesigning, helping people to change the narrative around their lives, right? Working for humanity, right? Boots on the ground. And so, with that said, sometimes we as leaders, we lose ourselves in the work that we're doing, that sometimes our health doesn't hold up the way that it should. Now, mind you, I've always been an advocate for fitness, advocate for eating well, all the things. But at some point, something, deviated away from taking care of me. So I encountered a hypertensive event, and so when that happened, wasn't sure how I got there. And so what it told me was that I needed to be give some intervention. I needed some intervention, and more importantly, I wanted to prevent the onset of any type of chronic illness. I am at war with the casualties of chronic illness. Okay. We are not going to have it over here on this channel. So it is a goal for us to live well at all levels in our lives, but we can't do any good work for God if we're not healthy. We have to be mentally, physically, socially. Our soul must be anchored in our health for the battle, right? Our soul must be anchored in the Lord. And so in order to do that, we have to take care of ourselves. So we are on a campaign. Living healthy is a lifestyle campaign all over the world. We are asking people to join from wherever you are. If this is something that you have battled, if this is something that you're going through, if you have a friend, a family member dealing with chronic illness, I am a local researcher. My goal is to provide you with the research, address the underlying factors associated with a disease as per the research. We already know I'm not a medical doctor. I am a PhD and I am a scientist of the science, okay? And that my goal and commitment to the kingdom is to help God's people to conquer and not be a casualty to chronic illness, whatever that is, by all means necessary. How do we use God's garden? How do we use his pharmacy as a way to care for ourselves and be the leaders in our homes? And so today, I am, first of all, look, soil stewards goals to taking territory, number one. My goals to taking territory begins with me, right? And as I move on this journey, I have launched a campaign through our ministry. Touch One Life, Touch Millions is a ministry, and a campaign is Living Well is a lifestyle campaign. We are on a mission to save as many lives or to disrupt the enemy's plans for God's people all over the world. If this sounds like something you're interested in, click the link in my description and sign up from wherever you are. I want to know where you are. I want you to be on this campaign representing where you are. I want you to be just as knowledgeable about this research that I'm pulling. I want you to be just as knowledgeable about how to implement this for yourself and help others to do it, right? Based on what? The science. We know that medical doctors are trained physicians. They are trained to manage disease. I need you to hear that. They are trained to manage disease. We want to heal from disease. In the kingdom, we want to heal from the disease. Dis-ease, right? Dis-ease is the process of making you less comfortable. Dis-ease is a process that takes away your joy. Dis-ease is a process that can take your life. Dis-ease is a process that can cause your body to malfunction. Dis-ease, separate you from the ease of life, right? So we are returning back to that which God told us about ourselves. And that is that we were beautifully and wonderfully made. So I am inviting you on the journey right where you are to join us. Matter of fact, I need to put in there a link. Where are you from? What state are you living in? Because I want this to be a 51 state campaign, 60 country, 198 nations, if we can make it there, right? Goal is to live well and bring your talent, to the space to help God's people change the narrative on their lives. So I have my black and white little diary, territory that I'm taking my life back to. My goals is to take territory in this area and teach people what I know about food. Teach people about not only food, but how to grow that food. If an avocado good for me, how do I grow the tree? If moringa is good for me, how do I grow the tree? If blueberries are good for me, then how do I grow the bush? How do I maintain the bush? Because I have tons of them. So the goal is to mix what I know, mix the science with what I already know, my knowledge and research, and what my talent to grow food, to teach you how to change the narrative in your community right where you are. All right. So grab your notebooks. The first thing you want to do is have a place to log your progress. We are not just going to be out here willy-nilly and trying to remember what we did. We have to be intentional about logging what is going on in our lives. So I went for my walk. Today is 7/8. I went for my walk today. I walked about 2.5, if not more, 3 miles. I will look at my app, but I'm going to say 3.0 plus miles. I plan to do 10,000 steps per day. That is the goal. Now, some of that will be after lunch, to make sure that I am within the window of making sure that when you walk after your meal, you are within 10 minutes of your last bite. Then what you are doing is you are telling the glucose, you are telling your insulin, sending it to your muscles. You're sending the insulin to your muscles versus the spike. Can you hear me? Let me come. That was my daughter. Let me make sure she's okay. Let me get the other phone to make sure she's okay. Hello there. I just had a latex allergy flare up. You can no longer eat avocados. Okay. Well, avocado is a you can there's all kinds of substitute. It's a protein, but you don't have to eat avocados. There's plenty of ways to get your protein. So and I'm so sorry that that happened to you. There are foods that we are allergic to, but there's probably not the food. It's probably the pesticide because some of these foods are sprayed. Fact is, they are pesticides out here, and many times what people are finding is that they're just allergic to the pesticide. So you want to, you know, sometimes you got to grow. That's why we growing our own food, because many of us have allergies to foods. Why? pesticide. Okay, that's why. Let me text my daughter real quick to make sure she's okay. From because she just called me. Can y'all hear me though? Let me see if y'all can still hear me because don't want to be talking and you cannot hear me. Can you say if you can hear me? Say, give me a thumbs up or something to let me know that you can hear me because when a call comes in, sometimes my video gets interrupted. So let me text my baby girl. All right, so you can hear me. Cool, cool. That's what I needed to know. So what I am doing is I have my little notebook. I'm logging everything. I'm what I put in, what I eat, just like I weigh in my food, all the things. So number one, I did my walk. The one thing you want to do is implement a form of exercise. Start right where you are, and I mean right where you are. You may not be able to walk, but you might be able to cycle. You may not be able to cycle. You may be able to just lift your legs and or pat your feet. I'm not sure what people's statuses are. So you have to design your own program, right? You're going to design your own program. For me, it's 10K every day, and I'm going to add each week. I'm going to add muscle. I'm going to add different things, right? I'm gonna add weights and I'm gonna add different things. Also, but a part of my process again is within 10 minutes of taking my last bite, I want to get on that treadmill and just walk, for 10 minutes, right? Like you want so because you want to send that glucose to the muscles. You want to send that insulin to the muscles, right? So not the heart, not to the visceral, not to the waistline. So that's the goal. You want to send the insulin to the muscles and not around your waistline as visceral fat, right? Because that is a lot of brings on a lot of chronic illness, whether we know it or not. It is the truth. Your metabolic health and the way your body releases hormones is critical. The way your body releases cortisol, all of these things are critical and things that I am learning along the way and sharing the research as I learn and implement for myself. So I did my 3.0. Now, another thing that I did this morning, I took my glucose. Why? Because I want to stay knowledgeable. I took my numbers and my number was 112, my glucose level was 112 this morning. Now, sorry about that. I don't know what happened this morning, but I had my glucose down to 90 last week. But things that as we eat And like I was fasting this morning too, but I didn't even have water. So, or then when I had my water, I had water with baking soda. Maybe that was it. I don't know. All I know is something sent it to 112, right? Which is still within normal limits. But for fasting, I always want mine below 100. So we're at 112. I consider that good. Then I had some water. So you want to eat, you have to drink your body weight in ounces. You have to drink your body weight. So if I'm 197 pounds, then I have to drink 197 ounces of water, right? That's a lot of water. That's 3 gallons, almost 4 gallons of water. I can't drink that much water in a day, right? I just can't. So we're going to have to hurry up and get that number down. So I don't even have, but when you think about it, you got to have that much water for your body. And we are struggling with water right now. What is that going to do for the health of humanity? That is hard knocks. That's a serious question. What is that going to do for the health of humanity if we require that much water for one person to drink a day to stay healthy? Then where's the water coming from when it's currently being depleted? That's a lot of water, isn't it? Right. You could drink more in this heat. Yeah, me too. And I have been. But I do drink right much. So I use a jar. It's a 20-ounce jar. And when I drink, when I'm out, when I'm really working, I'm drinking that water because it can be hot outside. Right. Yeah, we use much more in industrial use though. Right. Correctly. Correct. So So spot on, Carlin. Is it Carlton? Carlton? Okay, and so you record your water. You know your goal is you gotta drink. You gotta know your weight, so you'll know have an idea of how much water you actually need to drink, right? So then you want to make sure people. I chose to join Weight Watchers. Why? Because I wasn't happy with the fact that I'm doing all of this amazing stuff for myself, growing food, eating healthy, but this needle on the scale is not moving. But what I didn't understand was, but I did years and years ago, is that you have to create a caloric deficit for yourself. That means that if I'm at 197 and my goal is 155 for my height, then I have to create a caloric deficit, not my normal, 2,500 calories. I'm gonna have to have a whole $1,000. I mean, not $1,000, but I'm gonna have to have a whole 1,000 calorie difference in order create a whole calorie deficit of 1,000 calories in order to move the needle on the scale. So now that I know that, my caloric intake is at 1,500 to 2,000 per day. Now, how do I monitor what I'm eating? Well, if you're eating processed food, you shouldn't be, but many people are because that's all they have, or they think that that's going to, well, some people do it because that's how they were trained. They didn't know any better. But what is the world telling us about processed food right now? I think the internet has removed any ignorance and exposed any ignorance that we may have had. And that's not a bad word. It's just a word that says we just didn't know, right? So the internet is exposing what we didn't know about processed foods. And if that is the case, then that's why so many folks are growing their food, because they want the goal to change the narrative of your health is God's pharmacy. Is God's pharmacy. There's no two ways about it. He said in the Bible that he gave us every seed-bearing thing as meat to eat, right? So we didn't need to do anything extra. Yeah, you might have to learn some new recipes and whatnot, But let's get down like that. Let's learn some new recipes. I mean, it's all kinds of recipes floating around on this internet with people showing us how to, make different recipes out of different whole foods. I even do it sometimes, but it's not my goal is to get this campaign flying so we can be in alignment with one another to begin to repair our bodies from the damage that we sometimes cause ourselves because we're eating out of boxes, right? So you want to minimize your use of processed foods, right? So we got to get to back to the home economics. How many of y'all took a home economics class when you were in school? Or do they even have that anymore? Because I really do believe they need to go back to that. They need to have some home economic classes at the school, okay? Because when we grew up, we had home economics classes. We learned how to cook. We learned how to sew. We learned wood shop. We learned all the things, right? And so I think we got away from that. And because we did, there's generations of parents, let's say parents, because the kids can only do what the parents teach them, right? So there's these at least 2 to 3 generations of children, adults who did not take home economics in school, right? So that's a real issue. So we need to get back to home economics and learning how to cook meals at the house. Now I have my calories that I'm supposed to have, 1,500 to 2,000. Then I have my no processed foods. She says, I graduated in 2016. I never had a food course. I had a home economics for 2 weeks. Right? So you think we should be going back to that? What do you think? Do you think we should have that as for our children? I definitely believe that we need to get back to that. And some of us need to go ahead and propose a course curriculum, where we can teach it in schools. If you know how to cook, and you know good recipes, and you know how healthy cooking, then you should be someone who maybe proposes a course curriculum at your local public schools, because that is something that you can do. Because if they don't have someone willing to do that, with the knowledge to do that, then you can do it yourself. She said, I would appreciate it. It would be more useful than reading Macbeth. Oh boy. But I liked Macbeth too. And it is more useful than reading Macbeth. Are you a student now, Carlton? Because I liked Macbeth. I like my classics now. My classics took me around the world, but I had my class. I didn't sew that well. My mama had to help me re-sew the outfit because apparently the teacher didn't know how to sew either. She said, "Who taught you this?" Mama said, "Who taught you this?" She said that was 10. He said that was 10 plus years ago. Okay. Mama said, who in the world taught you how to sew this? So my mom was a seamstress, she sewed, and I learned how to sew for my mama, and I make some clothes, you hear me? So you want to minimize the use of processed foods, but how do you do that? Go through that shopping aisle, y'all. Stay out the aisle. Stay out the aisle where those foods are. Matter of fact, let me get some of these pita chips because I got to eat. I made some hummus. So let's talk about one of the things that I did this morning, because I want to tell you about my process, because your process of preparing your foods is critical. Now, I have removed potato chips from my purchase. I now eat pita chips. But here's the thing. I cannot eat more than 1,500 calories. All right. So I had 2 eggs, 15 to 200, 2,000. So I had 2 eggs, right? They have calories. We'll go back and we will calculate. I made some hummus. Now, the hummus in the can of chickpeas, 120 servings, 120 calories per serving. That is 3.5 in a can. So that is literally, let's see, let's do the math. So I have my other phone over here. Let's do the math. Yes, eat bread. Our modern bread is so nasty compared to 100 years. It is that we need to make our own bread. I don't love bread, but I would like to have a healthy bread. So that could be why I'm not completely obese, because I really have never been a bread eater. So I don't even give it to I didn't even give it to my children for dinner, even though they really needed it because they were naturally thin. My children grew up on WIC, and so when they grew up, I grew up going by the guidelines of the food pyramid and giving my kids serving sizes versus overeating, but they could have used a little more. In my opinion, could have that they're fairly well. They gain weight over time, but I have one who I think is hyperthyroid because he don't gain no weight. He's 6 feet tall, 6 feet 4, and probably 160 pounds soaking wet. So he's very, very thin. So let's calculate. We're going to calculate what the calories of a total can of garbanzo beans. So it's 3.5, which is the servings, times 120 calories per serving. So that means that can of garbanzo beans, one can is 420 calories, right? Now I want this hummus, so I'm going to make it. But hummus it requires more than just the can of garbanzo beans or chickpeas. It requires some olive oil, right? And a serving of olive oil is one tablespoon, right? And that was 100. Let me see how much it was to be exact, because now I have to come up with a new number. I have to come up with a new number for my half a cup. 120 calories per serving. So 120 calories per serving. The serving is 1 tablespoon. So now we have 1 tablespoon of olive oil, right? Now I didn't use a tablespoon. I used a teaspoon, and I used three teaspoons of olive oil. That's what I use. Hey there. So I used three teaspoons of olive oil. Does anybody know what is the equivalent of of 3 teaspoons to 1 tablespoon? Does anybody know that? We're going to calculate it or ask Google. What is teaspoon to tablespoon? Okay, so 0.333. So that's three. So I did use a tablespoon because I used 3 teaspoons. So 3 teaspoons is equivalent to 1 tablespoon. So that's a whole nother 120 calories, right? So that's 120 calories. Now I just made some hummus, but I need y'all to walk with me on this, because this is how we can lose our calorie count, because we aren't factoring in the things that we use for the recipe, right? So we got 3 teaspoons of olive oil. And then I did I did a half actually. Half of a lemon. And what's the calories of a half of a lemon? Anybody know? I want y'all to walk with me on this and take notes, because we are on this journey together to live well. It is indeed a lifestyle, and it's something that we have to do to save ourselves, right? A half a lemon, calories of a half a lemon, 1/2 of a lemon. I just want an approximate number, is 6 to 12 calories. So that might not mean anything to y'all, but it means something to me. And so I'm going to write it down anyway. What else did I put in there? I put in some garlic. Now, I am encouraging you to measure everything. If you do not have a digital scale, I need you to get a digital scale and weigh everything, because that's what we're doing on this journey. So we know what we have. So let's say I use a calories of a garlic clove. All right. Let's just say we use one clove. Even I be dumping that stuff in there. But that's what I'm talking about. We be dumping stuff to the ancestors say, and we be overeating. So a calorie of a garlic bulb is approximately, it says 45 to 50 calories. So we're going to go to the high end and say 50 calories because I don't know. Now, what is the total? So this is my recipe. What is the total calories for the 16 ounces of hummus that I made? So the total calories is going to be, let's calculate this. And this is how you have to do as you are creating your recipes. It would be good if you start, pull out, make a recipe card, say, here's the calories of my hummus with all the contents that I made it out of. So we're talking about 420 calories for the beans. The olive oil was 120. The lemon was 12. And the garlic was 50. So we now have 602 calories in for my hummus, right? So now a serving size of hummus is a half a cup. If I made 16 ounces, then I have 3.5. I have the 3.5. Hold on. I wish we would switch to metric measurements. Imperial is so chaotic. I use socket and wrenches at work. Metric going from 1 to 15 is so much better than 1/16, 1/18. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm going to get back on topic. So if I am, but that's okay. I like for you to share in the comments. So because maybe somebody could learn from what you are saying. So I want to stop respectfully and to acknowledge what you are sharing. So now my hummus is 602 calories and we have 3.5 servings in 16 ounces. So if I take 602 and divide it by 3.5, that's 172 calories. So this right here, this small little batch of hummus is 172 calories. I measured it myself. It's a half a cup. So this is a half a cup of hummus. I now know that it is 172 calories. That does my heart good. I don't have to eat all of that. That is the serving that I have. And I might, pick off of it. Now, I'm going to use the pita chips with it. The pita thins baked with real pita bread is 14 chips, and that's 130 calories. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to count these chips. We're not going to go in there and grab the bag. We're going to count the chips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and a half, 13. Can we get another half? 14. All right, so we have 14 chips. Now, remember, this is on the back of the label, y'all. It says 14 chips. This bag has 16 servings in it. So what we're trying to do is get ourselves on track. The more we have to count, the less we're going to eat probably, but count it anyway, okay? So now I've got 14. I got one serving of pita chips. And I know that that's 14 chips, 14, and it is What did we say? 120? 130. You see how I was about to cheat? 130. So now this is, if I do this hummus and this pita bread, that is a whole 210. That's a whole 302 calories. Do you see that now? And this is just a snack. Mind you, my caloric deficit is allowance is 1,500 to 2,000. At this rate, one snack, two snacks a day is all you get. You have to look at what you're going to cook for your meal because you can get up to those calories really, really fast, right? So you want to also make sure you're incorporating a lot of vegetables because vegetables are empty calories. Very empty. There, you can eat a lot of vegetables, and because you want to think about your meat source. Meat is an ounce. It's only an ounce. But most of us eat 7 ounces, 8 ounces, 9, 10, 12, 16-ounce steaks, 20-ounce steaks. Imagine that. A serving is 1 ounce. So you see how quickly we can get up to overeating? So we're not going to do that. So this lesson was to help us to begin to think about writing everything down, measuring everything, calculating our recipes. I know that my hummus recipe now is 420 calories, and a serving is 172 calories. So I know this is good knowledge for me. If I want to say I want to do a half a cup of hummus, it's 172 calories. Should I have 172? I probably won't eat all of this, y'all. This is a half a cup. A half a cup, I could take a couple of bites, a couple of this, but now I can put it down as my total snack for the day, right? And I can come back to it, right? So I can put it on a little small plate, put a little bit of, put a covering over it. The point is, get my calories, eat my protein, eat more plant-based legumes. Y'all, this hummus is so good. I made it myself. I also used the lemon rind. It gave it a lot of zest, y'all. So this was looking like. I can't eat all this. So I can't eat all that right now. So I'm going to put it in a small bowl. And I know that if I finish it, then I have had 172 calories. And I'm going to go ahead and account for those because I will probably finish this throughout the day. I'm not going to eat it all now. I'm just using it as my snack. And so I will go in the refrigerator, I know what my count is. 172 calories. Okay? So I want y'all to be about it. I'm going to put my food in here when cats like to jump. Or you can even do one better and start learning how to make your own crackers out of. Now that pita is a good idea. My phone is going to die in a minute. Let me give it a little bit of charge while I'm still on the phone with y'all. Let me get my charger. Solar. If you don't have a solar charger, you should, because your solar charger can be a life saver. This is my solar charger. You power it in and still keep going. All right, we got to turn this around. It's been charged up. Now we're going to plug it in. Yep, now we're on charge. All right. So we get to carry this around with us. So we're going to go outside. I want to deal with my chickens, my girls. Oh, as a matter of fact, I was supposed to put this plate away. Let's do that before we go outside. And remember that as long as you have your fruits and vegetables, you have those as like empty calorie. You want to get full off something? Baby, make your fruits and vegetables instead of these processed foods because, baby, that's what's blowing us up. You hear me? That is what's interfering with our healthy lifestyle. And that's that too much of a good thing. Too much. So we are going to go out here. We are outside now and we are going to. Oh, you're welcome. Gotta go. Peace and blessings to you. Thank you for coming into the space and sharing. Hey, and if you would like this information and want to learn more and be a part of our campaign from right where you are, click the link in my bio. Click the link in my description box and join from where you are. Tell us where you are joining us from. Where are you joining us from? You can leave it here on this comment section. I can go back and look at it later. Where are you chiming in from? If you are here right now, what state are you? You don't have to tell us what city, just what state. We want to know what states are being represented on these lives, and so we can connect with you, so we know where our information is reaching, how we're doing, because we got 198 nations, y'all, and I'm believing God. I'm believing God for expansion on this project because he already said our bodies are not our own. And if we are willing to make our bodies a living sacrifice, I know that God is going to do the work for us to reach the people that we need to reach. Let me show y'all these blueberries, though, these blackberries. You want to see some blackberries that I'm growing in a container? Look at this right here. Hold on. Look at this, yeah. Now, this is a blackberry in a container. Y'all see that? Look at this blackberry. Look at the size of it. A beebin over here. I came too late. He's already sucked some of the juice out of it. But y'all see all these limes? Look at this. Come through limes. Look. Y'all, they coming in. We about to have some limes. Or are they lemons? Let's see. These are lemons and limes. This is a patio garden. Oh no, this is a Colombian. These are the little oranges, sour oranges in the house. So we got a couple of those. We're gonna be doing some planting today. We're gonna be planting out. Oh, look at here! Look at these limes. We got limes. Let's go. But this is our okra plant out. We planted 122 okra. And I can't wait. And I absolutely can't wait. This is my grapevine. It's massive and doing well. So just give you a little, and these are just beautiful, y'all. They are doing so good. I'm so happy. Look, we got some flowers down there, y'all. Zucchini about to pop in. It's about to pop. Hopefully that will do good and get past. We got some more cucumbers in here. We're going to have to take these in a different direction because they're about to go haywire. I can tell. I'm going to have to do some staking for them. Got a small bed over here, but this is another bed. We got some trees, grapevine, but we have our garden, which is main garden. This is our grapevine. We got a lot of grapes, y'all. We are about to start harvesting. Oh, we're getting some. Oh, look at here, y'all. Look, they're big. They're starting to turn. Come through grapes. Let me taste one and see how it tastes. They don't look like they're too ready yet, but I don't know. Let me try that one over there. Look like it's. Oh, yeah. Now see that? Y'all, we got grapes. OMG. Y'all, they are so good. Mmm. They are doing so good this year. Let's go through here. We have some more blueberries that are coming through. We are a fruit growing farm out here, okay? We have some more blueberries that have come to ripen. I love to just come out and pick. And these are, like empty calories, so they're not a lot of calories, but you still have to count, okay? Mm. Y'all, we still got to count, all right? All right, let's walk around the garden real quick, give you a quick overview. For those who have not been here before, I had to take all my umbrellas and coverings down because we had a big, real bad storm yesterday. We got some more berries over here. These are some flower beds. I made these beds. Oh, this was dropping some fruit down here. Some more blueberries. Oh, this is a blueberry patch right here. But these are all in pots. This is, I don't know if we're going to get any mandarin oranges this year, but she's doing really, really, really well. This is also tomatoes. We're waiting for them to give us tomatoes, and they are coming along because I can see. Oh boy, these are going to be like the Romas. There's one down here that's just been growing for a while. I think these are going to be like the Romas. This is our deck. We look like we got a lot of tomatoes that are coming to bloom here as well. Let's see, we got something down there. And a bunch of tomatoes here. We got to do a harvest. Looks like it's time to harvest some things. But it's best to harvest in the morning, so I probably will wait till evening when it's a little cooler. Hopefully I'll beat that daggone leaf-footed bug that be out here trying to share its enzymes with everything, because we have a lot that are ready right now, but everything is in the heat of the moment. So we will not be causing any damage to our food out here because we don't want to injure it. These are our hibiscus sorrel. I make that for heart health. That looks like a bug on that. We got some corn, but we got a bug up there. It kind of was that it went somewhere. All right. Everything is in the heat of the moment right now. We're growing a lot of cucumbers, a lot of tomatoes. We got corn. We have tomatoes over here. We have lots of figs that are about to come. We have lots of blackberries and figs, a lot of figs. And they are not ripe yet, but y'all see all those figs in here? This tree is loaded. She is massive. Can y'all see all those figs? Because we're going to dry our figs this year. We're going to dry them because figs are really good for your health, really good potassium and vitamin C. We're going to be pruning back the old canes of this. Look at that. Y'all see those? We are going to be doing some pruning of this one. I let some berries go to seed, and we want to get those off because they're going to keep growing, dropping more canes if I don't get a control over it. And so we have to get control over these bushes. We got some pomegranates on each side, but let's see what we got going. Let's see what's happening with the melons. Like I said, everything is, we got some voles trying to come up in the garden. They've been trying to push through my fabric because I have Been keeping them out of my garden. They've been trying to, they'll come in here and dig up and eat everything, pull all the roots up and everything. So they're probably going to come up in the fire pit area, but then they'll have to find their way out of there. Let's see what's happening on this side. I took the cover off like I shared. I put this cover up to kind of minimize the intensity of the heat. This is an old cucumber, but we're getting some new cucumbers, y'all. I see the new flowers. I see the new cucumbers. So I'm glad I let her stay. We're still giving her water. She was up here on this rack, and so I took her down and said, let her just sprawl out here on the deck. See what else we can get off of her. We have a lot of peppers, poblano peppers, a lot of basil. We have our own Splenda, our own sweetener. But like I said, everything is in the heat of the day, so it's very droopy out here. But we still living, y'all. We still living. I have a ton of cayenne pepper. I grow my own. All of our melons are droopy too. Everything is droopy. We have some melons, but everything is droopy out here, y'all. We're in the heat of the day. Let's see if that melon over there is still doing well. Yep, it's over there, but I don't think it got fertilized. Hopefully, we'll see. Um, we have back here. We have a lot of fig trees on the property. Um, we've got 22 in all. 22 fig trees in all. We've got some more melons back here, but they have not been fertilized yet. These are new, more figs. We got some cucumbers back here as well. Some cucumbers. We're gonna see how they're gonna do. And we have some kiwi berry, kiwi, lemongrass. We got a lot of trees. So we have a lot of trees. Apple trees, peach trees, plum trees, sassafras. We have mulberry, a lot of mulberry. The phone's about to get overheated, so I'm gonna go back towards the house because when the phone gets overheated, it will shut down. I gotta put it next to something cool because I feel it is burning up. Um, let's get back here underneath the shade because this phone is hot. Gotta get out the sun. So anyway, y'all, that's what I have for today. Just wanted to share the garden and some grapevines as well, because we grow everywhere. Grapevines and figs that are growing up over here. Super excited about that. Oh, it's so much cooler over here. You haven't seen my chickens. If you haven't seen them, they are looking for me. So anyway, we're going to get off this live. I just wanted to check in with all of you. Hope you have an amazing day. Whatever you do, don't let anybody get in the way on this journey, this kingdom journey of yours. And remember, living well is a lifestyle that you get to cultivate. Until next time, you guys, bye for now.